Wow, for me, the Batman cowl would be my favorite of the collection. I would like to wear that for Halloween next year.
Oh, you should definitely. Maybe, we could wear it for one of our shows. We'll see the future shows. But welcome back, guys, to Fresh Brew. You're, of course, with me, Zoe, and also Nabil. Now, Nabil, I'm going to ask you straight up, right? Okay, what do you know much about HRDF?
HRDF?
Yes.
Not much. That would be my answer. Exactly. I mean, I've definitely heard of the acronym before, but to know more about the institution, not much, I would say, before this.
Exactly. So that's okay, because that is the whole point of the show, is for us to gain more knowledge regarding things that we don't know. And especially to our audiences who are at home, who are thinking right now, where can I get, all this funding, because we have, of course, Penjana, which is the stimulus package for Malaysians, but it's actually a short-term relief stimulus package, right? Of course, you can get a little bit of money, but you guys have to think about your long-term future goals. How are you going to sustain yourself in the long term? How are you going to start, for all these initiatives? Which company or which kind of initiative should you take, programs, for you as a business owner, or as even an average person, as an employee?
Yeah, if you want to study more about businesses, I think this would be a perfect opportunity for you, because in the studio we have someone with massive entrepreneurial prowess and also 25 years of corporate experience. We will be speaking to Datuk Shahul Hameed Dawood, who is the Chief Executive of Human Resources Development Fund, which is HRDF. So welcome to the studio, Datuk.
Thank you, Nabil. Thank you, Joy.
You're welcome so much. Okay, Datuk, let's just, to us, we are obviously very, very not so aware of HRDF. Can you just explain to our audience very quickly, very simply, what is HRDF? In case they get confused with anything else.
HRDF is the short form of Human Resource Development Fund. Actually, we are the custodian of training and development in the country. Our primary job is to take care of training and development in terms of upskilling the people, reskilling the people. It caters from all levels. It's just not only in a specific level of people. We work with employers, employees, school leavers, graduates, retrenched workers. So our primary motive is to develop human capital. That's our primary.
So that's to clear the air, just in case people are unsure. Because when you say human resources, people actually often get confused. They don't know, what do human resources actually do. All I know is, for example, if you work in a corporate company, I have a complaint, I go to HR. I'm not satisfied with something, I go to HR. And actually, it goes beyond that, right? Where HR actually wants to help you guys be a better employee, gain a lot more knowledge, and so on and so forth. So actually, you guys have the Penjana HRDF as well. Can you explain to us, how did that come about?
22nd June was the official launch of Penjana HRDF to the market. Prior to that, was many things happened behind the scene. HRDF was always focused on specific programs over the years, but those times are very different. Times like now is very different, and we want to cater to the audience who have been affected by COVID-19. Business have gone to standstill. Economy is suffering. People are losing jobs. So we want to make sure that we cater programs that is favorable to the people who have lost jobs, who couldn't get the jobs, so there's a team of people who has to sit down and think, are we just going to go with one specific program, or are we going to cater to many levels of people? Because pandemic like this, you got to meet up with different level of people, different audience. Some comes from the very strong background, some comes with a very high profile, some with a very low level, mid management, low level. So I think we got to cater to all level of people. That's where we decided that Penjana HRDF is very essential and crucial, that it will help to ensure that people who are jobless, who are looking for a job, they won't be able to get the job immediately, but they will be well prepared to get the job after the MCO, post-COVID. So we prepared well on that particular area. So that's where the Penjana HRDF came in. It's a program specially designed with 5 different programs. So those 5 different programs cater to 5 different audience, especially on the graduates level. B40, which is a very vulnerable group, and during this time, we focus on SMEs development. We had focus on talent sharing and freelancing. So there's many audiences. It's a wide group, and HRDF are able to cater. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, because you were talking specifically about like 5 of the schemes that you have under Penjana, which is short for Penjana Semula Ekonomi Negara, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Maybe you can talk to us a bit more about all those 5 schemes.
Yeah. The first scheme of the 5 is Place and Train. It's very common, and that is one of the well-known program under the HRDF banner. It used to be Train and Place. We changed the concept a little bit, and we go on a concept of Place and Train first. You got to get the placement first, then we go for training.
Okay.
See, HRDF doesn't have any, we don't bring any value to the table. We continue to train people, and those people don't get employed. You come to me as an unemployed graduate or retrenched worker. I reskill, get you trained, and I put you back into the situation that you still don't have a job. So it doesn't have any value to me or value to HRDF. So we want to make sure that you get your, placement done first. So through Place and Train, you get placement done first. Then we train you on the respective skills that is needed to be on the job. So that was the first scheme. The second scheme is about B40. B40 is focusing on people who want to be self-employed. In crisis like this, it is very hard to get everyone to be employed.
Right.
People are cutting jobs, shrinking budget. So we got to emphasize and encourage people to go on the self-employment mode, at least for a short term. Maybe some might go on a short-term self-employment. If they find it good, they might continue that as a career in the long term. So B40 was one of the self-employment program. The third one, which we never thought this will be a very successful program, but apparently at the end, it has turned out to be very successful and a lot of good response. Gig economy.
Oh yeah.
Gig, we started.
About us, actually.
I believe this is going to be the future of the landscape of the jobs. People doesn't want to be tied up with any particular organization. People want to do talent sharing. People want to be on the freelancing mode. For a young graduate, if I'm good in web development, I want to use my knowledge in multiple companies rather than I get stuck with one individual company, 40 hours working there. And if I can get my source of income in 20 hours, I can have another 20-hour leisure time, so I don't have to stress myself. This is going to be the new norm of the employment landscape. Gig economy is in the third one. The fourth one, we had upskilling, reskilling, Industry 4.0, Industry Revolution 4.0. We focused on 9 pillars of IR 4.0. Then the last but not least, that SME development.
Right.
For HRDF, 95% of our employers are SME based. And we want to make sure those people who are affected during this COVID-19 are able to reskill and train their staff during this period, so when the business is back, they are able to have the effective and efficient workers. So these are the 5 schemes that cater to the market right now.
Right. And you touched about the gig economy, and we often talk about the gig economy on our show because obviously both of us we fall under the gig economy, right?
Okay.
So I actually want to know that how many trainees are actually undergoing for the self-employed scheme?
In a nutshell, we plan to train 200,000 people in HRDF under the Penjana. We have crossed 50% mark. That is, we have trained so far 120,000 people or so, and from different schemes. In Place and Train, we have trained so far 40,000 people, and this 40,000 people will be on the job by end of December or early January, because they already got the placement. They're all on a training mode right now.
Oh, wow.
So that is a very substantial, good results for HRDF. It is just not, you come for the training. All these people have the offer letters from the company. The company choose what program they should go for. So these people is on the training mode right now. So after that training is over, they'll be on the full-time job, and they will be secured a job for at least 6 months to 12 months at a minimum basic salary of 1,800. And depends on on the level of scale and the level of skills you have. Some people starting range from 1,800 to even 10,000 ringgit. So it depends. That's second on the gig economy and self-employment. We have trained 50,000 old people. 1,000 people. And there's many success stories. I can't just pick one. There are many success stories which are very satisfying to HRDF and many of our stakeholders as well. There are people who lost the job. They don't know what's the direction. They don't know what's the future. We retrain them. We reshape them. And we give them a life. You know, people go back, people come back from the aviation industry. They lost the job. They go back into a mobile saloon. People come back from the, hospitality industry. They don't know what to do. We put them onto the bakery, cookies, that kind of program. And they started to make revenue out of it. So we have many success. These success stories come from the self-employment, which is, on B40 and gig economy. Industry 4.0, we have trained close to 18,000 people, IR 4.0. And that is very essential. Actually, upskilling, reskilling might sound very simple, but it's very critical and crucial for our economy to be very stable and continue to stay put. And these people need to stay in the job. And for them to stay put in the job, they need to upskill themselves or reskill themselves. For example, I might have 5 different companies. 3 of my companies might do well, 2 might not do well because of the COVID-19. But if I can retrain the company which is not doing well, those employees, and put back into the company which is doing well, so at least they don't lose the job, they get a new skill and they get back into the industry. So we have 5 different. Overall, we have trained close to 120,000 people.
That in comparison to how many people that I personally know, and the current numbers that are unemployed, that is actually, to some it might sound like a small number, but to others who actually don't have a job right now, who finally after maybe months of being unemployed, finally has gotten an offer letter, is currently going for the programs that you guys are offering. It's a sigh of relief for them, and numbers will continue to keep growing. I think our last question for today is actually, what will you guys do with the allocated budget, which are 100 million ringgit, right? What are the future plans for the budget?
Well, I think there's many good plans for HRDF in the future, but there's a very clear direction from my Honourable Minister for Human Resources, Datuk Shahul Hameed. He wants to make sure that the graduates or the people who lost job stay put on the Industry 4.0. Because that will enhance or help them to focus on the 9 pillars of Industry 4.0. Well, B40 is good, the gig economy is good, but for you to have a nation of high income, for you to have a nation of knowledge-based economy, for foreign investors to come in and put in money in the country, we need to have a good talent pool. This talent pool have to come from Industry 4.0. And every country's companies coming from overseas, they want to make sure that Malaysia can produce talent, apparently, which is good. If you look into that, Malaysia become a big poaching ground for many countries. And it's just simply because countries use financial muscle to come and poach our kids to go to overseas, our people to go to overseas. So our focus is purely on Industry 4.0. For the new budget on the year 2021, HRDF will focus primarily on Industry 4.0, focusing on the 9 pillars of Industry 4.0.
All right.
Then just now you were talking about the achievements, and it was, I think, a long list of achievements. So I got to say congratulations to Datuk Shahul and also your team at HRDF for doing so well. We are hoping that you guys will do better in the near future, because it's very easy for you to find out more about Penjana. What I did just now, I did a simple Google search of Penjana, PNB. So if you're going to find out more about Penjana, just go ahead and do a simple Google search. You'll get there. So again, thank you so much, Datuk Shahul, for sharing this information with us and spending your time with us in the studio.
Thank you, Nabil, and thank you, Joey.
You're welcome so much. All right, we're actually going to move forward to the next segment of our program. I know Deepavali just ended, but those of you who are watching, maybe you want to get some silk accessories. We know actually a store of ours is called Lalis Silk Store over in Klang, and we send out our assistant producer Priya to check them out.